Season 4 of Chefs, Deliciousness, and Cocktails starts right now. Woo!
And here we are back to another edition of Trey's Chowdown Live after the Thanksgiving holidays. Woo! I think I gained 10 pounds, probably half of it's salt, but that's just the way it goes. Billy, did you gain any weight?
No, I still look the same.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I got a lot of information I want to discuss with you real quick. First of all, I don't want you to forget that Logan's Roadhouse has got that holiday feast. $99 feeds 4 to 6 people, and you can also do a 6 to 8 for just a few dollars more. It's an absolutely wonderful feast. If you want to see it, you can go to my social media. We went over and spent a lot of time at Logan's watching them make it. Everything's prepared in-house. The sauces, it's the big prime rib has got a beautiful bark all the way around it. I took it home. I ate on that thing for, I don't know, man, 2 weeks. It was delicious, Billy. All right, and Hawkers is opened in Dallas. We went over. They hosted us over at Hawkers in Dallas in Deep Ellum. It's all from scratch. It's street food. It's Asian street food with a chef's flair, and it is absolutely delicious. They even have all kinds of fresh donuts and sweets for after dinner sweets. It was good. I was impressed. Hops and Hens has opened up in Dallas. It's the new chicken concept that the Omni Hotels have created, and it's probably going to be emulated over and over again. It's really good. They make everything in-house. They even bred their own chicken. Chicken comes in fresh, not frozen. And if you go to my social media, you will see it is unbelievable on all the sides. There's just so many good restaurants opening up, and they've all gone now, Billy, to fresh, chef-driven sauces and stuff. I know a lot of them are still using, cans, but the ones who are trying to make a mark are doing fresh stuff. And next Friday, we're excited. ABC is moving their Friday studio to the Star in Dallas, where the Cowboys practice, and it's going to be called All-Star Fridays. We've got a 2.5-hour segment for ABC with various food and fun. So watch us Channel 8 next week, Friday from 5 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and also on social media, YouTube. It'll be live on all the social media channels as well. Had different chefs, restaurants. It's going to be fun. So next week, Friday, Channel 8, Daybreak, All-Star Fridays. And now let's get in with the man of the hour right here, Mr. Billy Woodrich.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
All right.
Man, I was thinking that today. I was going through all the I just typed in Billy Woodrich in my deal. And, man, I had so many photos and videos and stuff. I've known you for 12.
It's going on 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's been a long ride.
You just go like this, little by little.
Yeah, a few bumps in the way, but we're all good.
Hey, everybody, if you don't have bumps, you don't learn, right?
That's right. That's right.
So I met you the first time. I met you the first time at an event, and then I went over to your, which I thought was a really cool little place, a little cozy, which I've got a video we're going to play from the first video we did with Fourth Magazine here in a little bit. But it was over in, what do you call that area, Fort Worth?
It's right on the verge of White Settlement in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So it's close to Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
Talking about the original Billy's Oak Acres.
The original.
Yeah. That was a good time back then.
Yeah. Little bitty, love the pit and the little coziness and the floors creaking. And
it was 950 square feet with the kitchen.
With the kitchen. And everything was uneven. All the floors were uneven.
It was like that little house at Six Flags you used to walk in, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Yeah. You're right. That's exactly what it was. It was all kind of lifty. And
well, that thing was built in the 40s, and it was a little grocery store, and it was the only place around White Settlement or that area that was wet where you could get beer.
Oh, wow.
And so Miss Motts owned it, and she would fill that whole back area up where we had our pool table. It would be full of Falstaff beer, and just people would come through there, and there was a little convenience store.
Isn't that crazy? That building has a lot of history.
Yeah, and then they added barbecue in 56.
Isn't that crazy? So was that where the original pit was? Was 56?
Yes, the original pit there was built in 56. A man named Sarge, they called him. He was from the Carswell Air Force Base out there, bought the store, lived in a little house out back, and built that pit and sold beer, a lot of beer, and barbecue.
Yeah.
And then it evolved. His son inherited it, and they moved Hip Pocket Theater out there. And then his son kept it going.
Oh, is that what all the room was in back, was the theater?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The big area in the back.
Yeah.
There was an old stage back there, and they would pack that place out. It was a really big deal. And then they closed it in the 80s, and it pretty much stayed empty. And then I came along. I said, my dad found the place. I'd forgot it was even there. My dad called me and said, "You still want that barbecue store? I know where there's one at. We might could rehab it." And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be cool."
Yeah.
And so he took me out there. We met the guy that owned it and stayed there and cranked out a lot of barbecue and chicken fried steak out of that place.
You really did.
And
what Billy? When did you decide that you wanted to start doing barbecue? Like I met you 12 years ago, but when did you decide you actually wanted to start doing barbecue? You were doing it in your backyard, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it in my backyard and did it for friends and stuff. And I was a private investigator, so I worked for a bunch of attorneys, and I would do barbecue for them, and I'd do their parties, and I'd get around all these people. I got introduced to another chef that had a chain of restaurant, a bunch of restaurants, and they put me helping him out occasionally. I was like, man, these people are so happy around food. It's not like, chasing a bail skip or dealing with I'd served a lot of papers for the divorce court and stuff, and everybody was happy around the food.
Yeah.
They didn't like me at my other job.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to go open this restaurant. And I thought it was just going to be a little sideline, thing. And we were there. I opened it up by myself. I had my dad. He'd come wash dishes for me.
Woody.
Yep, Woody.
And your mom.
And my mom. And she would do some desserts.
Yeah.
It just evolved. Then a lady called one day and said, "Hey, you want to be on TV?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it just kind of took off from there, and then got invited to some local stuff and had a good time.
What was that show you did, though? It was popular. What was that show?
It was a spinoff from Bar Rescue. It was called Hungry Investors, where they put two restaurants together for a investment at the end. Whoever's more worthy gets the money. Our food was spot on, but there's really nothing they could do to that old building.
Right.
So they kind of had to go to the other guy.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
The guy probably wouldn't let you do much of that old building, would he?
No. You weren't doing anything with that building.
Yeah.
It was James Quave was that guy's name.
Is he still there?
He's still there. Lives out back.
Does he really? That's what you call living simple, isn't it?
He lives very simple, and maybe he's onto something. I mean, we have a lot going on in today's world, and he's out there so remotely by himself.
Well, stress kills, it ruins relationships, it kills your heart. Stress is bad, so maybe he is onto something.
Yeah, he'll probably be out there a long time.
He will be. So is there anything there now?
No. Somebody tried to go in, it just didn't work.
No, I went out there one time. I knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, and
I think I got a piece of chicken that was 3 days old.
Yeah, and you can't do that to people.
No.
We spent a lot of time at that restaurant when we opened up.
Yeah.
In any restaurant.
Yeah.
Everybody you bring in here, they put in a lot of time.
Yeah. So I've got an old clip of something we did for the TV Fourth magazine.
Golly, when we were young.
Yeah. So can we roll that clip, please, Ron, and we can see by the old restaurant how it was and what was our first time to doing a show together. Hi, this is Trey Chapman. We're here at Billy Acres BBQ today, talking with Billy Woodrich about some great barbecue. Billy, how long has this place been here, man?
It's been here since originally opened around 42 as a beer store.
Beer store.
Yeah, and then around 53, the Quay family took it over, and 56, they built the pit that we'll go look at here in a minute.
That's awesome. It's been cranking ever since.
Ever since.
That's great. So we're going to go in here and we're going to try some barbecue. Oh, great, man. Oh, man, it looks delicious. The smell, Billy. The smell. All right, Billy, we're going to try some brisket here.
Let's try it out.
How long does it take to cook this, Billy?
About 14 hours.
Man, that's got to be good, Billy.
I like to think it is. I don't think it's the best.
Yeah. Look at it, just falls apart.
It's good stuff.
No, it's great stuff.
Thank you.
That's what I call money. You sell out. You don't sell leftovers. You only cook what you make each day. If they don't get here early, it's gone.
I try to guess at it.
Yeah.
And see how many people we can feed, because I will not put meat in a cooler and reheat it and sell it the next day.
Right.
I just can't do
Won't work that way, will it?
Makes bad barbecue.
Makes bad barbecue. All right, we're going to try the pulled pork now, Billy. Oh. All right, Billy.
That's tender as your mother's heart.
I'm telling you, man. Melts in your mouth, man.
That's right. That's good.
That's double money.
That's my favorite right there is the pulled pork.
Man.
That's the flavor. Got a little bark right there.
Oh, I love the bark.
It just kind of makes like candy.
That's incredible. How long does that take?
I put those on. Those take about 8 hours. We put all the pork butts and brisket on at night. Start cooking ribs and sausage in the morning.
Takes about 8 hours. All right. We're gonna try a rib now. Uh oh.
Hey man,
That looks delicious.
the best in town.
Really? How you do this?
Never knocking it out of the park.
Really, really good, Billy.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I could eat this whole plate.
Go for it.
So why do you think your barbecue's better than Ballast in town?
Just the effort we put into it. You know, we got a pit that's all wood, no gas.
Right?
It's all cooked on pecan. We put it on there at night. We got somebody here that stays with that pit all night long, and try to do the same exact thing every day. We're using top of the line meat. You know, we're getting good cuts of meat. We're not using select or choice or anything like that. We're buying the best of the best, and that's what we're cooking.
And how long has that pit been here?
That pit's been here since '56.
See, don't you believe the longer pit's here, the more it's seasoned, the better the meat tastes?
Yeah, just the cooking. Whoever designed that pit did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Because it works really well.
That's awesome. How many can you cook at one time, briskets?
I can get about 45 on at a time.
Wow. That's a lot. You sell those all in one day?
Yeah, I'll sell them all in one day.
That's how you make good food,
And
Billy.
it's money bar.
That's right, that's right. That's all you can say.
Selling out every day.
That's fantastic. Really great, Billy. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for coming out and
Yes,
checking
sir.
it out, man. I really appreciate it.
Y'all need to come out to Billy Oak Acres Barbecue, but you better get here early, otherwise you're going to see a sign that says sold out. This is Trey Chapman. Thanks for watching.
Boy, that's I called it Money Barbecue, or you called it Money Barbecue.
Man, that was some good times back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I heard you say underneath your breath. I get my thing, but I heard you say underneath your breath that you missed that old building.
Yeah, I do. I had a good time there.
Yeah. Well, you were selling so much at that barbecue at that place, that little smoker. You started having you had other smokers out back that you were also using, correct?
Yeah, I bought a big oiler pit and I had it back out because that's when I was doing all the meat for Billy Bob's too, and we were selling so much I couldn't keep up with that one old pit that was back there. Yeah. And
I remember you doing that stuff for Billy Bob's. That went well, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a good gig.
Do they have their own pit now?
No. But whenever, Billy Bob's went through their little turmoil or whatever have you, the majority owners owned Cooper's Barbecue.
Okay.
So as soon as I heard that, I went to them and said, all right, guys, how much longer I got? Because, it only makes sense for the owners to buy from their own self.
Right.
So, there was no hard feelings. They were real good. They were very good to me. Everybody was super cool and said, hey, you got this long? I said, okay. And
so who's running Billy Bob's now? Marty?
Yeah, Marty Travis.
Yeah. He's good, man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. He knows his business, man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
So they got Marty and they got Robert Gallagher back.
Yep.
Robert Gallagher's been there almost 40 years, I think.
At least.
Golly. Yeah. He started the actual music thing there. The music scene there. That's just crazy.
No, he's good. Everybody knows that name in the music business, around here. So, yeah, he's done well for Billy Bob's. So that was a fun time. They had a great chef over there. Chris First was there.
Where is he now?
He's at another company that, I can't remember the name. It's over in Dallas, but their company owns like Viking, Turbo Chef, owns all the major brands. So he's their in-house culinary chef and director.
But he's having a good time then.
Man, he loves it. Monday through Friday.
Oh, he likes that. Billy Bob's is all weekend, see?
Billy Bob's is your life.
Getting hammered.
Any restaurant is your life.
Yeah, that's right. So I want to talk a little bit before because we skipped over this, and normally I build a story, but before you have an interesting background too. Before you did barbecue, you were a bell chaser, right?
Right. I did. I started out. Started a little company, and we served divorce papers all day, which nobody loves to see you coming with those. And I started doing a little PI work here and there for some other family law attorneys.
Right.
And so you're sitting in your car lot watching people. And then I was walking through the criminal courthouse one day, and this defense attorney came up to me with a piece of paper and said, hey, I need you to go arrest this guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you got your PI license, right? And all I need to do is give you a letter of authority to arrest. You can go get him. And I was like, how much does it pay? I'm like, I'll go get him. And so he gives me the paper, and I said, well, I better go buy some handcuffs. And I went over to Foot Locker at Ridgemar Mall and arrested that guy.
Did you really?
Yes, sir.
Was there any trouble?
No. I just asked him. I said, "You're so and so." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, you better turn around. I got a warrant right here." And took him to jail. Took him.
Well, you're a big guy too, though, so it's probably
yeah. So I would only do that for mostly some of the criminal attorneys that would write their own bonds.
Yeah.
Not because most of your bail bond companies, they have
guys
seasoned, real seasoned people.
Right.
And so then I told my dad. My dad's always helped me out. I'm like, "Hey, I need you to get your PI license so you can come help me." And so he was already retired from his business, so he went and got his PI license, and he would help me out. And because we've always worked together.
Yeah.
And
that is awesome, by the way.
yeah,
I want to stop because it's awesome to me because I worked with my dad, but our businesses were so big that I never saw him. I mean, I never saw him, but I worked with him, and he worked with his dad. And it's very hard. It's very hard to find people nowadays that work as family members close together because the kids always want to do something else, or they want to be involved in tech or something like that.
Yeah, and I kind of was the same way because my dad, by trade, he had a cabinet shop and built custom furniture.
He also cut meat, didn't he?
Yeah, but way back when I was a little
okay.
kid when that
Okay.
happened, 10, 12 years old.
Okay.
But I tried the wood thing working in his shop because I wanted to work with my dad.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't for me. I was
Yeah.
like, because they have a tape measure.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "How big is that?" And I'm like, "It's 3 marks past the 12." He'd be like, "No, like how big is it?" And I'm like, "Okay, this isn't for me."
3 marks past the 12.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't do this. And everything was so precise. And
Yeah. It's got to be.
So when my dad retired, that's right when I was opening the restaurant. So he came to work for me, and then I said, "This is how you do this." So now and then he's just like, he'll learn it, and he's very good with it. He has his way of doing things. He's very
Right.
structured.
Yeah.
And I'm fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
I got a catering tonight. I just bought the stuff yesterday. There's one thing I learned from Grady is how to do something fast on the fly. But where he'll plan it out all week, which he's always right about it, but it drives him nuts.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
But he came to work. I showed him. Then he just would evolve and take on. And then before long, he was, "Hey, you go home and I'll watch the fire tonight." And he started staying all night. And
He likes it.
yeah, he just goes from place to place. He's helping me in a new venture, and he loves it now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, and you. Now I want you to touch on something else too, which I was going to touch on. It was going to be my next subject. You worked for Grady Spears for a while, and y'all became friends. But you spent a lot of time with Grady.
I spent a lot of time with Grady, and we met him through when I was a private investigator.
Right? Yeah.
We got introduced to each other and worked with him. We started at the very end of Grady's on Forest Park.
Right.
And then we went straight to Toller.
Right.
And that's when he got his deal with the Houston Texans. And,
Right.
I was kind of
That was a good deal, but he had that deal for a long time.
he had it
didn't
for a long time, and
That's been as long as a gig, I think, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because it was only a couple of days a week. It was pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But it was kind of deal. It was Grady Spears and Big Hungry. That's what he always called me. And so,
Yeah.
so we would leave Toller we'd close the restaurant on Saturday night, and it's a 6-hour drive to Houston. And
Yeah.
I did not let Grady drive, and I did all the driving.
Yeah.
And so we'd leave there at midnight. Wouldn't pull into Houston until 6, and had to be at the game.
Right.
And so we would do that, and it was a good time. Grady was fun. I learned a lot. He had some good chefs at Toller that were real nice.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey," so they're like, "Hey, you can cook outside. You seem like you like playing with fire and cooking meat." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I want to do." And so that we had a pass-through window that we would grill all the steaks, everything out in the open.
Right.
People could watch. It was a great environment. And then we'd pass them through. They'd plate it out to the table.
Toller was a big place, right?
Toller was big.
Yeah.
It was a very nice place. They had a big outdoor venue, things like that. And then it ran its course. And then Grady decided to do something else. And that's when I said, I'm going to go do my thing.
Yeah.
And because I was still working for all the attorneys at the time.
Do you think that propelled you to do your own?
Absolutely,
yeah.
because I would get in there, and like I said a minute ago, we would run food, or people would come up and watch me cook, and they were just happy.
Yeah.
If I walk up to your door and ring your doorbell and go, "Hey, here's a restraining order, and you can't see your kids for 10 days, and you're getting a divorce,"
Yeah.
You're not going to invite me in.
No, you're lucky nowadays you might get shot at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it just, I met a lot of good people doing that job, like a lot of good judges and the court staff, the bailiffs, the attorneys. So now they're also my customer base too.
Yeah.
So it was good when I opened. They would come see me, but that little restaurant just shot off faster than I thought.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I opened the door, it was me, and I didn't know the behind the scenes. I wasn't a chef. I just knew I could cook barbecue and I could make chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess I was there 4 or 5 months, and they asked me to do the Fort Worth Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, I think that's where I met you.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I was like, because they took us on a bus, and I'm around all these chefs. I'm like, I'm not these people.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking you to get a hat or something, didn't they?
yeah, we got a hat. And,
Yeah.
they drove us out to a hat place. And
At that other hat we're not going to talk about.
yeah, we only talk about American hats.
That's right.
Yeah, I had 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah.
And so I was around all these people really fast, like it just shot off. And I met Stefan.
Yeah.
He's a super good guy. He's always been nice to me. And I knew Britton. Remember Chef Britton? He's in the real estate now. Just met a lot of good folks.
Yeah.
And I learned real quick. And then my little restaurant, it was just me. And like my dad would come up and help me wash dishes.
Yeah.
And finally we hired an employee. But it was hard because I remember I would set the people down. I would take their order. I'd make their food. I'd get their drink. And then I'd take their money. And I'd be there smiling, going, God, I hope you pay cash so I can buy groceries. Because you had to wait 2 or 3 days for credit cards back then.
Yeah.
I'm like,
because you had everything invested in there.
Yeah. I was like, please pay cash. I need groceries, you know. And
Yeah.
And then, of course, if I didn't, because it was new, well, I knew I could call mom and dad, hey, spot me some grocery cash till we can get,
Yeah.
And that's how that became a family business.
Yeah.
And it just started evolving. Then, like I said, we got the TV show. We did a deal for Dickies clothes. We did some modeling. We did just little pop-ups here and
Everything
there.
that you did, and then you did a lot of catering too.
Yeah, catering took off real good.
Yeah.
No, I love doing catering.
What happened to your little Billy Oaks Acres van? What'd you do with that? Did you sell it?
Sold it.
Did you?
Carvana.
Yeah. Carvana. Oh, come pick it up.
Yeah, call them and get your check.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Does it work?
It works great.
Dude, they have so many commercials on TV. How can it not work?
That's how it worked. I was at the restaurant one day and I sold my dually. And I made $9,000. I'm like, I'm always upside down on cars. This is before COVID.
Yeah.
And so then I sold the little Billy's van.
Yeah.
The Billy's van's cool because if your kids act up, you can drive them to school in it.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that. Yeah. You told me they didn't like going. Yeah. That was funny.
Because since I don't get to see my, being in the restaurant business and everybody else that sits in this chair will tell you, you don't see your family a lot.
No, you don't.
So I've always tried to drive my kids to school and pick them up.
Yeah.
Because at least I get to see them in the morning and at night.
And you got them captured in the car.
Got them captured in the car.
Yeah.
They don't talk a lot. They got those earbuds now.
Yeah.
They put those in, and you're talking away, and they're just looking at their phone. Like, what's up?
So what was the hardest thing what was the hardest decision for you, or was it hard at all, to make the leap from what you were doing to your own restaurant? What was that like? What kind of decision was that for you?
Man, it was pretty scary because I had, had my kids, wife, all that to think about. And then I think it was just the people. Every time I'd be serving food at Grady's, everybody was so happy. They wanted to go out to eat. They wanted to be around. And like I said, my other job, you can only hear that stuff so much. And so I just.
What was it when you first opened up Billy Oak Acres over there? What was that street on? What was the street it was on?
It was North Las Vegas Trail.
No, yeah, that's right.
Don't forget to put the North on there.
Yeah, North Las Vegas Trail.
Yeah, it used to be called. It was Philip Parker Road.
Yeah.
And then they tried to put the North. So I used to say next to Grace Baptist Church on North Las Vegas Trail.
Because it is a big difference, though, because people go to Las Vegas Trail and they can't find you.
Oh, yeah. And also, if you're on 30, it's exit 6, and it takes you to the hood.
Right.
And then if you're on 820, exit 6 is Las Vegas. So they get really confused.
Yeah.
It was.
I remember your dad was helping you. Your mom was making desserts. And sorry about your mom, by the way.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's my dad passed away about a year and a half ago. So your mom's making desserts, and then eventually you got some employees, and because you were cranking all the time then.
Yeah, I got some employees, and I hired this little girl that lived down the street. She'd walk up there to work, and then she decided to move, and she goes, "My brother's going to replace me." And I was like, "Okay." So then he went to Brewer High School.
Okay.
So he would come in and wash dishes and help out. Good kid. And then his friends come. Then I needed waitresses, so asked around and got some wait staff in there, and
they just started rolling from there.
And then I needed to help in the kitchen. And I remember after putting in a long time, there was be time I'd stop at the Waffle House in Benbrook. And there was this guy in there, and he would make the food exactly like the picture on the menu.
Oh, would he really?
Yeah, I mean, it just, it wasn't, how you look at the menu and you get it and you look and you
Especially
go like, what happened?
House.
Yeah, you're like, what happened? Well, this guy here, the food always looked the same, the bread, everything.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, come here. I said, you ever worked at a barbecue store? And he's like, no, he's Filipino. His name is Alex.
Yeah, that's him. That's Alex. Okay.
Yeah, that's Alex. And he says, no. I said, well, you want to work part-time? He said, yeah. So he came out to the original Billy's, and I guess it was his first day sitting up showing him how to cut meat and stuff. And he just, boom, boom, picked it up. And he picked up the phone, called Waffle House, and told him he wasn't coming back. And he stayed with me this whole time.
Yeah, he went to all your restaurants,
Went to all of them, and then same all my kitchen staff for the most part did. The key people, Abby, and Abby's working another barbecue place right now since I don't have. But yeah, it's been a long, fun ride.
You decide to move.
Decided to move.
You just needed more room at that time.
Yeah,
you decided to
needed
move
more room.
And you moved to the old treehouse, right?
The old tree house
On West Highway 80, but I call it West Camp Bowie.
Yeah, they tried to church that up too.
Yeah.
But to me, I went to Western Hills right down the street,
Yeah.
so it's Highway 80.
Yeah, it's Highway 80. Yeah,
It's Highway 80.
Deep Highway 80.
Yeah, right by the LVT.
Yeah. So you did that. You took a while to get that open.
Yep.
Were you catering to stuff during that time too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was still catering. You got to keep the money rolling
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
It's always about cash flow in restaurants.
Oh man, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
You got to have it, man, and preferably cash.
Yeah, preferably cash, because let me tell you, you cannot. One guy can't go to the bank and say, "Hey, I'm going to open a restaurant," because
Yeah.
they're going to be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
how much are you going to deposit?"
Yeah.
They're not going to give you any money.
No, used to they would. Used to you could do start business. Now they startup business is gone. You got to have seed money. You got to have a lot of it.
Yeah,
especially
for
for
sure.
restaurants.
For sure, and there's a reason, because they have such a bad rap. But
Yeah.
you take a lot of these chefs that come in here and talk to you that are seasoned. They can go open a restaurant and they're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
But you take these people that sit at home and they're probably really good cooks, backyard cooks and stuff like that. They go out and they buy brand new restaurant equipment. They buy brand new this. They listen to every vendor that comes in.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to wash dishes if the dishwasher calls in sick. Oh, one of your drains is stuck? I have a roto-rooter in the back. I'm going to fix it myself.
Yeah.
You can't pay all those extra bills. You won't make it.
No.
So
It's called experience.
exactly.
Trial by fire.
You got to wear a lot of hats. You got to be
Yes.
an electrician, a plumber. You got to be a lot of things.
You can't get that from college. I'm sorry, but you can't go to a culinary school. Now, you can get basics for cooking,
Right.
but you can't get the actual operational experience from any school or anywhere unless you actually go do it and see it happen
Right, exactly.
and have to work on stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wasn't collge material.
Yeah, no, well, me either.
no, I
I
wasn't.
tried. I think I went a week.
I went about 3 or 4 days. And I've realized I was bartending then, and I was like, I'm making more money than this guy teaching me this class. I'm out.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't. And I was built for high school because that was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
The keg parties every
It
week
was
and
fun back
party.
then. I don't know how it is now, but
Nah,
it was
but
fun back
it
then.
seems horrible.
Yeah.
I look around. There's not one cool car in the parking lot.
No,
Just-
and they're all and heck, every week there's 1 or 2 high school shootings, people getting shot up. I just don't understand
no,
that.
I don't either. That's crazy.
Oh, well, I got you off track anyway. So
But-
restaurants, yeah.
Yeah, so moved over to the old tree house, which was fun because what was fun about it too is I would see some of my old teachers from Western Hills come in
Oh, that's cool.
and be like, the ones that said, "You're not going to make it. You're not going to amount to anything." Well, look at me now.
You're eating my food.
You're eating my food. Sit down.
You had a bar there too. You also had a bar.
Yeah, we had a bar in there.
Was it beer and wine?
Yeah, we just did beer and wine
Yeah.
there. It did pretty good. It was a fun place.
You were there, what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. And then you went to Roost Bar and Grill. Now you're doing your own place, which I thought was really cool in Cisco.
Right.
Cisco, Texas has got a lot of history.
Man, that's a great place.
Man, it's
It's
just
a great place.
beautiful place.
Yeah, and I'm still going to do a few things here we've been working on with another restaurant.
You're doing some catering too, right? Oh, what, are you? Yeah, I saw a deal. Are you working with on Belknap?
Well, okay, Sam Gibbons got he bought the old Sammy's barbecue.
Right.
He had the smoke pit, and then
Right.
they had to move.
Right.
And Sam has since pretty much left that restaurant to his son, Sammy
Right.
Jr.
Right. I met him.
And his girlfriend. They do a great job. That is man, their kitchen is squared away. It's all, it's very clean. They put a lot of work into it, and they actually work it. Sammy's back there doing barbecue. It's come a long way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he's going to get like burned out in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has his moments like the rest of us. But because where they're at and the hours and their customer base, it freed up Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday.
Okay.
And so Sammy Jr.'s dad called and said, hey, I think we ought to do this. I'm like, maybe do like a chicken fried steak one night, or let's do a pop-up breakfast and do breakfast on Sundays. So I think they're still working out the logistics with Sammy Jr. on that. But we went over there. I took a couple girls, took my daughter over there, and we did a little soft opening breakfast deal.
Right.
People loved it.
Yeah.
I took Chris First over there with me. He helped me get it going. I think it's going to be a good thing, and it keeps me to my people in Fort Worth that have brought me up, my good customers, because I feel like, I'm moving to Cisco. How often are they going to get there? You know what I mean? So it'll still keep me in ties to my hometown.
Well, the a good thing about breakfast for me, I've realized that breakfast is just geographical, where you need to be. Because there's lots of people that won't go eat a breakfast like that. But geographically, they're in the right spot.
Right.
For breakfast, they're in a great spot.
I think so too. And for some reason, a long time ago, when I started doing breakfast, I said, if I do it, we're going to do it from scratch. We're going to do everything.
You get breakfast out there. Hey, it was good.
Yeah, and we're going to buy good ingredients and make good stuff. And it killed it. And I figured out I could still shut down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because I had so many church crowds coming out there.
Yeah.
And you just run families after church groups, Sunday school classes, and all. It was a good deal on Sunday. And so just by doing that one little soft opening breakfast at Sammy's, I've had all my church people. That's one of the number one questions. When are you doing breakfast? Now I get them on Facebook and all that. They're like, when are y'all going to be out there? I want to bring 20 people. I want to do this. And they're going to drive. I mean, they're going to come to us. So we're making this little destination breakfast deal. I think it's going to work great.
They're at Sammy's.
He
has a deal, or he did have a deal. I went and ate called Pork Chop Fridays. You still have that?
Yeah, he's still.
It was good.
That. Yeah, he's still.
It is huge.
Yeah. He's always had those big pork chops.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. He has his own sauce, and it was good. Mm-hmm. He has a lot more room than he had at Smoke Pit.
Oh, my God. The thing's like 10,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's huge.
And
but he's also got parking. They don't even park in Smoke Pit either.
No, he has tons of parking, and he owns the lot next to it.
Yeah.
They've really fixed up the outside area.
Yeah.
He's poured all the concrete, so everything's level. They're doing a lot of work to that place.
Yeah.
I think with Sammy Jr. being there, and that's his livelihood now, and his girlfriend, I think they're going to hit a home run. Yeah. They seem to have a good staff.
Yeah.
Some people that have hung around a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go back out there. I went out there when they first opened up. I need to go back out there. My son Dalton likes the place out there a lot. So Jan, I need to go out there and check it out.
Yeah, it's a good place.
So you're moving to Cisco, and it's going to be called Billy's, right?
Just Billy's.
I saw the.
I couldn't think of a name. I was like, man, what are we going to call this? Because you try to come up with a name, and you come up with the country names. Like, that's everybody does that.
Yeah.
And, So I told a friend of mine, I said, I need a logo. And what are we going to call it? I said, so they come up with this cool logo. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't name it after one of my kids because I have a few.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to get offended.
Yeah.
Which they all work with me in some
former fashion.
Yeah, former fashion, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So it has all these big plate glass windows. It was a really cool building.
Yeah.
There's some great businesses there.
Yeah.
I work with somebody that really helped me out in Cisco was the Broken X Winery. They're down the street. Her husband's a contractor, so owns an electrical company. So he jumped on board because I didn't know anybody out there as far as building stuff. So he jumped on board and was GC. And then I needed a place to work.
Yeah.
So people started calling.
Yeah.
And I met the lady that owns Broken X because she needed help with her catering. Her first catering ever was a prime rib or chicken dinner with 2 dinner services on Valentine's night.
Oh, my gosh.
That was her first thing
to pull
me? No, I'm serious. Her name is Nikki. She's awesome. And so her husband called and said, hey, I think my wife might need some help with this. So
you think? He thinks or he knows?
Yeah. So everybody was kind of scared because she runs the winery and what she says goes pretty much. And then here I am. They're like, they're going to butt heads. Everybody kept saying that. So I show up at the prime rib Valentine's Day night. Never met her before. Spoke to her on the phone a couple times,
Yeah.
and that was it. So I walk in the back door, and I said, "My name's Billy." I said, "The first thing you're going to do is change those shoes." She's wearing heels.
Oh.
I'm like, "You're fixing to run. You need tennis shoes." And so she had these wonderful desserts made. She had her chicken going, and she goes, and we just hit it off. I mean, she was great, and she had her staff. She had friends and family in there helping do dishes and cook stuff. And I forget how many people. We filled up the winery and did the whole first dinner service. They got prime rib, chicken, green bean, the whole 9 yards. Then they got their dessert.
Yeah.
And then we cleaned everything up, got ready for the second serving.
Right.
And we pulled it off. And so since then, matter of fact, I'm going there tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But they were doing a fajita party for something.
Oh, that's cool.
But since then, she sold little catering jobs and for her little parties, and I'll go do the food, and she'll do the winery and all that kind of stuff.
Why Cisco? Why did you go to Cisco?
I have some family friends that were there, and I have ties. I have family in Ranger and Eastland.
Okay.
A little bit, cousins and
Yeah.
stuff.
And you like the area. Obviously, it's beautiful.
Oh, I loved it. And one of our family friends, he's like, "You got to come to Cisco." I'm like, "What's in Cisco?" I hadn't been there in years.
Yeah.
You know? So I drove out
Used to
there.
be gunfighters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I drove out there and looked around. I was like, "This is pretty cool."
Yeah.
You know, they haven't overbuilt it, things
Right.
like that. So then we looked around and we talked to a realtor, and they showed me a couple buildings, and they showed me this one building. It has a brand new grocery store built right behind it.
Yeah.
It's Brookshire. I mean, it's brand new.
Yeah.
I thought this would be cool because the stuff we forget to order,
Right.
just go right back here and get it, produce and all
Right.
that stuff like
Yeah.
that. So we looked at the building, but the building was a little bigger than
Yeah.
it needed to be.
Right.
And it had a little retail shop to the center, off to the side.
Right.
And so I went home, told my wife about it. Me and her drove out there, and I said, and I was trying to, I wanted her to be on board with it.
Yeah.
And my wife,
She has to move too.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
And so, she has an online business, and
Right.
so I was like, "It has a retail store for you, honey," like that, and so she really enjoyed it, and it is cool. She's building her store on one side. I got mine, and there's a door in the middle, and so it's going to be pretty cool. So we got the building, and then it was just a flat square. It was nice. It didn't need a lot of work. It had good bathrooms in it and all that, but it needed like floor drains and lots of plumbing. The electrical needed to be updated, but that's pretty much it. The ACs were good, everything, and it had the big glass windows. It was from what I understand, it was a grocery store in the 40s, I think.
That's cool.
And then
A lot of history.
so the older people call it the old grocery store.
Yeah.
The people, I say young, I'm 50, but the younger people call it the old Bill's Dollar Store.
Okay.
So it's been two things, I guess.
It's been a grocery store in Bills. Well, now it's Billy's.
Yeah, now it's Billy's. And there's a lot of people. There's another sports bar going in Cisco, which I thought was kind of odd. I thought sports bar in Cisco, but I guess they need it. It's going to be pretty cool. They're rehabbing an old building.
I think in places like that, rehabbing old buildings is coolest because of the history.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a town where, a lot of these little towns you go into, like the roofs have fallen in. They're
Yeah.
just not going to
Yeah.
be cool. But this town, they've kept it squared away pretty good.
You touched on something. You said you need floor drains and this and that. I was thinking about people starting restaurants, backyard chefs, or even business people who have money that want to be in the restaurant business and think it's easy and all stuff. They don't realize what you have to do when you go. Even when you look at a shell and you got to build something out, they have no idea what they have to go through.
No.
No,
There's a permit for a permit to get a permit.
and you got to put everything: drains, water lines. I mean, it's just crazy.
Grease trap. That's $20,000. I don't care who you are. It's $20,000.
Yeah.
And then you got to get
on a good day.
Yeah, and you got to get a permit to use. You got to get a permit to put a grease trap in, and then right when it's done,
You got to get a permit for the grease trap.
there's a lady that's going to come around and check it, hit you up for another $160 to use your grease trap, and that's yearly.
Yeah.
And so there's always a permit.
And then
on
you
a
got to
permit.
dump the grease every week or however long, how big the grease trap is.
Yep. They come by and
Suck it up.
suck it all out.
Were you giving any of your grease to the guys, the biodiesel guys?
No, I think I actually found a guy that would give me some money from old fryer grease.
Yeah.
Which, usually the guys just want it.
Yeah.
But this guy would buy it. I think that's what he did. He sold it to some of the biodiesel people. But no, they didn't come directly to many restaurants that I know of. But that is a big chore when you can get rid of fryer grease.
Yeah, it's a
messy
big,
and
yeah,
all
it's a big
that.
chore. It's
So-
nasty.
And I found a guy that gave me a few bucks for it. So
Take it and haul it away.
Yeah.
So are you taking your smokers out there, or are they already out there?
No, I just poured a pad, but yeah, the smokers are going out there.
Okay.
And then
Are you going to set them down? Or are you going to leave them on the trailer?
no, they're going to have a pit room.
Okay.
I'm building a whole pit room. I just laid a 24 by 34 pad out back.
Okay.
So we're building a big pit room out there.
That'd be good. You're going to get, how far off the highway are you in Cisco? How far is it?
Barely a mile.
Barely a mile. So you'll get people off the highway, especially if you
yeah.
use social media. You know how social media is.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cut through because when you exit 332 off 20.
332 off I-20.
332 off I-20, take a right, we're on the left. You pass the DQ,
Yeah.
so
right.
you can stop and get
That's
ice
all.
cream on your way out.
We didn't have that DQ, but go ahead.
And so, there's not much. There's a Subway, a DQ, and a Sonic, I think, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think a little pizza place.
Yeah.
But you can go straight through and go to Albany, to cut through for Breckenridge,
Right.
those little towns that
Right.
way. Or if you turn left, you go to Rising Star towards your 40 miles from Brownwood.
Right.
So there's a lot of traffic on that
Right.
that road. There's
that's
just not a
probably-
lot of place to eat. Everybody goes. There's a Mexican food place that's pretty good. It's up on the highway.
Right.
And then a lot of people go to Eastland,
Right.
which is 12 miles away.
Is the Dairy Queen
People-
still in Eastland?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's still there. Ranger, Eastland's
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I think that'll give people need some food.
Yeah.
And there is some tourism because there's lots of little shops in Cisco that
Yeah.
are being open. Little
Yeah.
antiques, gifts. This candle store.
Well,
And
Cisco
my
kind of
wife has
Cisco's
her boutique.
Yeah, Cisco. She does. Cisco's kind of like it was like all those small towns in Texas have kind of done this, and now most of them are doing this now. They're all kind
Right.
of up on the upswing
Right.
because people like to go out in those small areas and travel.
No, they do, and I was shocked because when it kind of leaked out that I was going to Cisco, I started getting messages like, "Oh, next time I'm in Cisco." I was like, really, you go to Cisco? I mean, you don't realize how many people travel
Yeah.
through, or like all the people, their kids go to Tech.
Yeah.
They go right past there, and that's
Yeah.
a good place. It's an hour and 10, 15 minutes from Fort Worth.
Yeah,
It's a
and
good
that's a
place for
great
break.
road. They've redid those roads out there. They even redid Ranger Hill.
Right. Ranger Hill's not much of a hill anymore.
No, no.
They built 2 state-of-the-art rest stops
Yeah.
there. But I don't know. We just got excited. My wife liked it. We have a fixed to be 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, 52 with a
Are
4-year-old.
you stopping? Or are you still going?
I'm
with
done.
The kids?
I'm done.
How do you know you're done?
I'm pretty well done. I'm pretty well done. So this one's a little boy, and man, he's on fire. His name is Levi.
He's on fire.
Yeah, he's a little fireball.
Is he?
Yep.
So
And then-
so your wife has a boutique out there too?
Yep, it's called Urban Rose, and it'll be right next door to mine. So,
cool.
And it's cool because the roof line's a little lower on hers, so it looks like its own little store. It doesn't look like she's just tagging onto a restaurant.
Oh, neat,
You know what I
okay.
mean? So, she has
She gonna smell
her
like
flair
barbecue
in there. No, it has some French doors in the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
But so it's given her own identity
Okay.
on the Urban
Awesome.
Rose thing. Her online business it's too much for
Yeah.
trying to do it out of the house. So
Yeah.
she needs a storefront.
You have to have a lot of inventory for online business.
Yeah, we have. Oh yeah, our house looks like a boutique. I mean, this shipping center in the kitchen, and I mean, she just boom, 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 mailing center by the front door, so I
Yeah.
can take the packages.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're gonna do. We've been asked for 2-3 years now to do merch for our deal, and I don't have the room. When we're moving, when we move, we're gonna set it up and do it that
Yeah,
way.
'cause
you can't have just one thing. You gotta have a lot of stuff to be
Right.
able to accommodate what people want.
So I'm digging this mug.
Isn't that cool?
Do I get to take it with me when I leave?
No, that's a pork butt mug. I was going to tell you when I went
I
out,
know.
I passed Cisco just a few weeks ago. I went out to Jay's Barbecue Shack in Abilene. He's on my show.
Okay.
Great place. And I hadn't been out to Abilene since we sold our Dairy Queens out there. And man, I was running 85 on that highway. It's just a nice highway.
No, it is. It's good.
Oh, man.
It's real good.
It takes you an hour to get Cisco. I mean, an hour and 10 minutes to get Cisco.
About an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah.
Man, what are you riding a horse?
No, I don't like to get pulled over. And I'm not even riding dirty. I just don't like to get pulled over.
So what's the menu going to be out there, Billy? It's going to be
Menu's going to be, we're going to keep the barbecue.
you're going to do prime rib on certain days?
Yeah, we're gonna try the prime rib, see how it goes. It seemed to do good when we've done it at the other place.
Okay.
Then we're gonna do like a ribeye fillet, maybe a strip steak.
Okay.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna do my chicken fried steak because everybody loves that.
Right.
And then we'll keep the pork chop that one we do on Wednesday.
Right. You're gonna hand cut your ribeyes, I guess.
Yeah, we'll hand cut those, and then I'm gonna put in. This time around, I'm gonna do like a real meat counter where I can sell.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because
especially out there.
Well, out there, people like to cook, but there's also a lake edition out there where they put a bunch of homes. You know, people can go. Come buy steak from me, then go home and cook it for their friends.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You know, everybody loves to cook.
Yeah,
they don't always have to come in and eat. But yeah, just keep pretty much the same menu. Comfort food.
Yeah.
You know, lots of salt, lots of butter. Some desserts.
I remember Grady used to, somebody popped up one time, I never forget this, and Grady told the guy, he said, man, I can make anything taste good with salt and butter, even a sole of a tennis shoe.
And heavy whipping cream.
Heavy whipping cream, yeah.
Grady loves heavy whipping cream. It goes in everything.
My dad used to say that boy's going to kill everybody in town, man,
yep.
with his food, but it was delicious, just like yours, man.
Yeah, 1 scoop of mashed potatoes, 900 calories. There you go.
Yeah, that's what makes it taste good, though.
Right.
Because, you know, everybody loved eating with you, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people drive from Cisco on a, you know, like even if you left here at breakfast time and went out to Cisco, you eat lunch Cisco, look around, shop, and come back.
Right. It's not a bad drive coming back. And like I said, there is some little shops there. There's, you know, they can set up. They can do wine tastings at different places. I mean, there's just a lot going on in that little town.
There are wineries out there, correct?
Yeah. There's 2 wineries.
Is it red, white, or both, or there's all kinds of wine?
All kind of wine, from what I can tell. I don't drink.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah.
It's not a court order. Or
that's a
nothing.
story. That's a story in itself.
Yeah. So
you gave up something not to drink, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's another story. You gave up. You gave up your kidney for somebody, didn't you?
Yeah, my Uncle Bob. He got my kidney, and after that, if I drank too much alcohol or partied, it just hurt my other kidney. I was like, I'm done.
Well, you know, people talk about being given. You can give anything you want to, but if you're going to give a body part, that's pretty much a given guy, man.
Yeah, and he's still moving around, doing fine. So
yeah. I bet he appreciates you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah, better than the alternative.
If one of my family members,
that's my dad's brother. My dad's brother.
If one of my family members came in and asked me for a body part, I don't know, man. I'd have to really think about that.
Man, he was my favorite uncle. He was that uncle that would show up. You know, he was single for a while.
Yeah,
he would show up. With you know, in the 70s at a birthday party and hand you like a whole mason jar full of quarters, not realizing there's like $600 in there. You know? Yeah. And you spend it all summer long. You're like, all right, this is good. You know. So
backstories, they're always good, aren't they?
Oh man, it's something else.
All right, so I got you off track about Cisco. Go ahead. I got you off track with Cisco.
Yeah, so back to the stuff to do. Like I said, there's little shops. There's the wineries have tastings. One winery. She has the Broken X has like a little menu. She does some great sandwiches and those boards. I never say that word right. The board with food on it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying. Now you got me not wanting to say it.
I just call it a platter.
It's a charcuterie board. Yeah.
If I can't spell it, I don't like to say it.
Yeah.
So
it's a meat board. Protein board.
Yeah.
That's
snacks.
Fun. Snacks.
Yeah. So anyway, so she does those boards.
Yeah.
And then she does some sandwiches and some things and they're really good. I ate a pastrami sandwich the other day. It was great. And then there's another place across the street called Blue Duck, and he does pizzas.
All right.
And
why Blue Duck? Why that name? Is he like ducks or something?
I guess.
That's kind of a cool name.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Cool name.
Said it, and you know, I some people that I know out there that have kind of enticed me to come out there. They'll go to one winery on Thursday, then they'll go to the next one on Friday. Yeah. There's a Red Gap Brewery there. Yeah. It's real cool. It's 2-story, and he makes all of his own beer. I go in there, they make homemade root beer.
Oh, wow.
And it's really good.
So is there a brewery there too?
Yeah, there's a microbrewery.
Cisco's a lot bigger than it used to be.
Oh, yeah. And it has economic growth with businesses and stuff, but they're not shoving in the little close together housing additions like Brock and Weatherford and Walsh and all that stuff. You know, they're keeping everybody kind of spread out, and you got to kind of have a little land or something like that. And
is there a distillery there anywhere?
Not yet. I'm sure.
Well, the guy that got the brewery could be distillery too. He just has to make some modifications.
And it's a fun town. Like the Main Street, I still call it Main Street because we're on it, but it's actually called Conrad Hilton Boulevard because Cisco, Texas, was the first town that there was a Hilton hotel. Then there's a little.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the original.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the original one is still there. It's a little museum. But from what I understand, Conrad came in to work in the oil field. You know, it was all oil booming back then.
Right.
No place to stay.
Right.
So he reinvented the wheel.
Right.
built a place to stay.
Right.
And evidently that was the right career move for him.
Yeah, well, you think?
Yeah.
Let's ask Paris.
Yeah, no, I know. I ask all the, does Paris ever come here? And she doesn't. But
You can ask all the Conrads, all the Hiltons. All the Conrads. They're all done very well.
But now it's all. So it's Conrad Hilton Boulevard is Main Street, and like I said, the little museum down by the Chamber of Commerce and all that. You can go through it. And
I never knew that was his first hotel. See, that's cool. I've never known that.
yeah, it's got all those.
How big was it?
I don't know how many rooms it is.
20 rooms or something. 10 rooms.
Maybe 10, maybe 8
Yeah.
to 10. You know, in Cisco, from what I understand too, the brewery there is called Red Gap Brewery.
Right.
And from what I understand, I think the town used to be called Red Gap, and it was further down the road.
Right.
And somebody named, I guess it had a tornado or something,
Yeah.
and somebody helped them named Cisco rebuild the town, but it's closer to the railway.
Right.
So I think that was how that went down.
I'm sure that is there a big railroad station you used to go through there or something, or a depot?
Right down at the end of Main
Is it
Street.
still there?
But
No.
the train tracks run
Okay.
through there.
Okay. Yeah.
right
Does the train
next
still
to
come through there?
Uh-huh.
Can you?
It's almost like that Crescent train. You got to be careful.
Oh boy.
But at least it's on the edge of town, and nobody goes that way.
Oh man, you got to be careful, right? I hate that Crescent train.
It's awful, isn't it?
Oh. So can you just set my mind on fire when you talk about being? It's amazing how companies have got even like Dairy Queen, anybody like Hilton that started with something so small and just got so big.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Ford, all those guys. I like to watch all those history shows about how they did it. And of course, back in those days, there's a lot of things you could do that you can't do now.
Right.
You can't do now, but they did it and they're big and
Yep. Nowadays, if you want to, it was just different back then.
different. Yeah, people work too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All day long.
All day long, didn't complain.
Right.
They brought their lunch
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's not the same
Does
anymore.
that bring tourism to? Does the Conrad deal bring tourism to Cisco?
I think so, because people like these little one-day road trips
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the town. One of the first things I learned was me and my wife were out there. We're cleaning this building up, and I'll be on my side. She's over on her side doing stuff. And I told her the first day, I said, hey, I'm going to go across the street to the Ace Hardware and get some trash bags. She goes, okay. So I'll go out there and get in the car, and it's facing the deal. I get in, and I start the car, and I'm looking, and I see the guy outside the hardware store doing like this, locking the door. I'm like, what is he doing? And I looked at my watch. It was 5:35. So then I got out the Google and
Got out to Google.
put it in there, and I was like, what happened here? And it says closed at 5:30. So, I was going to have to drive 12 miles for some trash bags. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just do it tomorrow. So I like that slower pace, man.
Yeah. Hey, Janet, I just got back from taking Janet to New Mexico for the first time, and everything 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
It's
5
awesome.
o'clock. 9 or 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and that's it. And they literally roll the carpets up. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know.
Yeah, and that's like some of these places that have the food and the wine and stuff. They don't open until Thursday.
Yeah.
They open Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. What are your hours going to be out there?
We're just going to play with it and see.
You don't know yet,
I don't
okay.
think it won't be a 7-day week restaurant because I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting old.
I'd say Wednesday through Sunday. Hey, do you have do you have a Facebook for it yet? No.
No, I just kind of changed my normal Facebook, so I keep all my contacts.
Okay.
And there is a what is it called? My wife made it. I'm not a big social media guy. I should play on it more, but
I know.
I still like the yellow pages when I can.
Well,
The
yellow
it
pages.
keeps the mind sharp.
Who says yellow? I ain't heard anybody say yellow pages a lot. You ever heard anybody say yellow pages?
It keeps the mind. It keeps the mind sharp.
Okay.
You got to think about it.
So it's going to be Billy's place in Cisco, off 20 on
Exit 332.
332.
I think my wife built a fan page for me, and it had all these people start tagging along.
Okay.
That's my beautiful picture on it. I try to use a black and white because it makes me skinnier.
I'll have to remember that, Billy.
Yeah, black and white always makes you look better. I mean, look at the old shows.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just Billy's Oak Acres fan page or something. But
Okay.
I just kept all my pages alive, even though they're
Yeah, well, like if you can change your Instagram to that too, because you keep all the same people.
Yeah, matter of fact, you told me the other day, hey, go on there and change your Instagram. I was like, wow, and it took me a few minutes. I figured it out.
You need to change it. We're going to talk about what, but you need to change it.
No, I did.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah,
I
good.
got on there.
I was like, oh, this ain't going to work. You need to change it. So
yeah, I changed it. That's good.
Just out with the old, in with the
new. I know, and it's been a wild ride in the restaurant business. I mean, you learn a lot, but you make some good friends, and
it's obviously favorite thing is the people, making people happy.
Yeah.
But if I'd been chasing around bad people trying to handcuff me and serve warrants and stuff, I'd probably enjoy cooking too.
Yeah, I know sometimes that was fun, but
yeah, well,
I have a few pictures of here and there,
everything's about life experiences.
And plus, they used to get to ride in a beat up Kia Spectre to jail, man.
Yeah, Billy. Thanks so much for coming, man. I really appreciate it,
man.
Billy.
Thanks for having us, man. It was a lot of fun. I hadn't seen you in a while.
Thank you.
To catch up.
Billy's Place, Cisco, Texas. Check it out when it opens up. Stay on social media. You'll follow him. Same time next week. We'll be at ABC Channel 8 Daybreak. Channel 8 next week, Friday. Later.